Good morning to you. Well, the pumpkin spice cake coffee from Nespresso is out early, and there's a limit of 2 boxes per order. So I ordered 2 boxes. That means that I can start using up my stash from last year because I have been, having maybe 1 or 2 a month because I didn't want to run out of them because they're so yummy. So this morning, I'm just going to make it without milk or anything in it, just to remind myself of the flavor that I love so much. There's something I was thinking about this morning that I thought I would talk about. It's how your feelings come and go. There's a saying or a little quote that your feelings come and go like waves in the ocean come and go. But with your feelings, just like the waves, you can choose which ones to surf. So I want to give you an example of a situation where I had feelings generated, but they were not helpful. They were not ones that I wanted to keep entertaining or feeding, but they seemed so real. So I was out walking Grayson one day, and we have, what monkey grass or mondo grass is? Google it if you don't. Well, down here in South Georgia, we have some that can grow like 2 or 3 feet high. So sometimes you'll get these huge mounds of it. And there's one place in my neighborhood where there's 2 or 3 mounds growing together. And apparently it's a perfect place for a cat without a home to find shelter. So one day we were walking by this place, and Grayson was interested, and he stopped, and he put his nose into a few of the blades of grass a little bit, and we heard this sweet little meow, sweet little cat sound, and Grayson is just slowly wagging his tail, and his whole body was like, ooh, what's this? Could this maybe be something nice? And of course I know that if he sticks his nose further in there, he's probably going to get it swatted by a paw that has claws at the end. That's the nature of cats in most cases, especially if a dog comes sticking its nose into the cat's place of shelter. Well, I pulled him away from there. While that was happening, though, I was thinking, and also while I was walking away, I was still thinking, if that cat had hurt my dog, and I was starting to get all these emotions, like what I would do to that cat, ridiculous. I mean, one, in real life, I wouldn't do anything to the cat. The cat would probably run away. If it didn't run away, what was I going to do? Grab it? I mean, then it would hurt me. Basically, it was a situation where the only thing that was happening with me is I was experiencing these emotions boiling up of hating that cat. It hadn't even done anything to my dog. I mean, who knows? Could be a tiny little kitten that would have been fine with the dog. But it doesn't matter. The point is that I had all these emotions that were in no way helpful. They weren't going to go anywhere. I mean, I had a choice of just calming myself down, thinking about something else, or keeping on thinking about them and getting more and more angry. and actually then it could even lead to getting angry about other stuff. Well, let me just give this a stir and a taste. I don't want to wait. Some mornings I don't mind keeping on talking and letting the coffee wait, but not this morning. Oh, taste that. I don't know, cloves, nutmeg, allspice. Oh, it has such an intense pumpkin pie kind of flavor. Pumpkin pie spice. In fact, I've got a little container of pumpkin pie spice here. What does it have in it? Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cloves. And I feel like I can taste all of that in here. You know, just out of curiosity, let me see on the box. Does it list what's in it? Let's see. A wide range of spice notes, mainly defined by cloves, cinnamon, and cardamom. Melts with sweet pumpkin flavor. Oh. It says, with milk, the spice notes are softened for a sweeter and smoother coffee. And let's see, here it says, decaffeinated and regular roast and ground coffee with natural pumpkin and clove flavors and other natural flavors for the Nespresso system. So, you know, it's interesting. I really, really like cloves. When I was a little kid, dentists' offices used to smell of cloves. And I spent a lot of time in the dentist's office when I was a little kid. And I liked my dentist. But, yeah, there's something about cloves that's sort of an exciting, but also homey sort of odor. So I guess, you know, the fact that they particularly mention the cloves is significant. So I just put a couple of mini moos, half and half milk, half cream. And it does make it taste sweeter. Oh, it's a lovely flavor. I enjoy it. It's very different. And I could see where a lot of people might not like it. I sure like it. Okay, so, yeah, talking about feelings. So sometimes feelings are, you can have feelings that are an accurate response to a situation, but sometimes your feelings can be like me with that cat. You know, imagining Grayson being hurt by the cat and just feeling so up in arms about that. It's good to, when you're experiencing emotions, especially if they tend to be strong ones, to try to give it some thought. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Because you can be carried away on a tide of emotions. It's interesting that a lot of words that have to do with emotions, waves of emotions, a tide of emotions, relate to water or to the sea, because they can be just as strong as, you know, have you ever been to the beach and you got hit by a wave and knocked over, or picked up by a wave and carried along, or maybe you sort of surfed along a wave, or, you know, there are times, I remember once being on Nantucket, and the way the beach was at this particular part of the island, you would be standing in maybe knee-deep water, and a wave would come that would be several feet above your head, and it would crash down on you, and then around your lower legs it would suck back out so strongly, going back out into the ocean. And at the end of the day, I remember riding a bicycle back to where I was staying, and going to bed and laying in bed, and I could still feel that water pushing and pulling against my legs. Emotions can be just like that, where the situation that caused them, you can still, it's like it lingers. You can still feel the effects of it long after the actual situation has happened. There's a lot to think about with emotions. One last thing I want to leave you with, because I want to drink my coffee, is I put this quote on my Facebook banner today. It says something along the lines of, don't do something permanently stupid for a situation that's temporarily difficult. Oh, dear me, I can't remember it. But I can remember this. I always remember this. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Many times, because of our emotions, we'll do something that can make a lot of changes in our life, in our relationships. But the problem was only temporary, and we didn't need to do what we did. Sometimes having a little patience, waiting things out, having some wise counselors that we can go to kind of bounce ideas off of, or sometimes even having somebody where you can say, can I just, unload these emotions and get it out of my system? And then you feel better and you can move on from the situation. Sometimes that helps. I mean, you don't even have to have the person agree with you or anything. They can just sit there and listen. Well, anyway, I hope this is of some help to some people, because this is something as human beings that we all experience and have to deal with. And it's good to be able to recognize when something is just emotion taking you over. Wasn't there a song? It's just emotion taking me over. Something like that. When it's just emotion, or when you can use your intellect and figure out, hey, what's going on here? Is how I feel helping fuel good actions, or do I need to just kind of get a handle on myself? All right, I got to drink this coffee before it gets cold. I'll talk to you later.